So, hi everybody and welcome back to the C++ tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 42 and in this video we are talking about operators again, and we are learning two more operators. So we go here in our operators list and we go to the section comparison, and we see we already have learned this equal operator, this not equal operator, this less operator, this greater operator, and now we're learning these two operators, which is less equal and greater equal. This one we skip. So let's get started. This less and equal and greater equal, let's make here a comment what we are going to learn. It is this less equal one and the greater equal one. So here I made already a little preparation to explain this. So I created here a variable number 1 and with the value 5, a number 2 with the value 4, and I want to compare these two numbers. And of course I will use the new operators which we want to learn. I want to use the less equal operator in this first example. So let's get to it. I used again a the if keyword, and the reason for that is, you probably know, we need all time a condition, and this comparison operator will create an output which says yes or no, right? So that's very nice, and this yes or no I can use in the if condition, and that's why I used here an if example. So I started with the if keyword. I write then number 1 is less or equal to number 2, and if this is the case, then if it says yes, then the first block will print out. If it says no, then the else block will print out. So that's all fine and all good, but I made here a mistake in this example. That's very interesting. And when you, if you want to check this out, make a little pause, check out what's the mistake here, and then we will see if you are right, because I continue now and explain what the mistake is. So first of all, I start this program and it looks very good, right? No, 5 is greater than 4. Oh, that's not a mistake. That's perfect. Okay, so what is the mistake? So let's change this number to 2. Okay, that was not the mistake. So let's change a little bit numbers. 2 is less than 4. Okay, that's also true. So where is the mistake? The mistake, let's say now the numbers are equal. Okay, let's print this one out. And it says 4 is less than 4. Wait a minute, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. So we have here a problem, because the less equal operator checks two conditions, and that's a problem here. Well, why is this a problem? Because if I write something like that, which considers only one condition, which is less condition, then the equal condition is here actually missing, right? Because this condition will check if number 1 is less than number 2, and at the same time it will check if number 1 is equal to number 2. And the problem is, if it's equal, this text what I wrote here will make no sense. Of course you can say, wait a minute, at start I know my number is, for example, less, right? And at start I initialize the values here with 3 and 4, then I know it can be only in this block or it can be only in this block, because if it's less equal then it will jump here, and if it's greater equal it will jump here. The problem here is these variables can change later during the program which we are going to write, and can be called again here later. But of course we have not learned functions and classes and so on, because there we will see how this thing what we wrote here can be called again later from, let's say we write here many codes, and then there comes a function and we'll call this one what we wrote here again with different numbers. And if this is the case, we will have a problem with this comparison, because it just consider one condition. But I talk so much because you should be consider this all time when you use this less equal operator, that you should check both conditions. Even the numbers are here at start not looks like optimal, but they can be changed. So, and how we can solve this problem, let's say it's very easy in my case, but there are programs which is probably not so easy. But in my case, I can just write here less or equal than number 2. So now when we go here and see, yes, 3 is less or equal than 4. Yes, indeed, it is less this time. All right, makes sense. And if I go for the 4, let's say during the program, this variable has changed. It is called again. And now with 4, and this time this makes no problem. 4 is less or equal because I pointed out this can be equal, and 4 is less or equal. Yes, it is equal this time to 4. Makes sense. And later, of course, you will not use probably a printout. Later, you can, of course, make operations like comparing other things, and then you say if this is less or equal, and then depends on that state you will go on. So, and that's actually it. You have just to consider these 2 conditions here compared to our other compare operators, which has actually only one condition. They check only less and say yes, no, or greater, yes, no, or equal, yes, no. And here we have not equal, yes, no. And our new operators, these 2 ones, check less equal and say yes, no, but check less, say yes, no, check equal, say yes, no, and yeah, there is one more condition included. You'll see it. And that the same thing goes for the greater less sign. It's just the other way around. I think I don't need to show this here again, because if you understand this principle, then you know the greater sign, it's the same thing, only other way around. For example, I write here instead of less, then greater less, and this one we can check if this makes sense now. What I wrote here, 4 is less or equal than 4. Yes, it's right, makes sense here. But what if I write 5 and we see 5 is less or equal than 4? It makes no sense. So you see that was wrong because that makes again no sense when you just change operators like me. That's stupid. All time consider when you change the operators if it makes sense what you want to achieve. In my case, I would change here a little bit. That's why I don't change it. But you can do it. It's just the same like here, just with the other text around. So I stop here. It was not too difficult. And in the next video, we will talk a little bit about the bool again and about variables again, because there are few informations which is important to know. So see you there. And like all time, if you have any questions, write it in the comments, because these videos are made on the fly. There are some mistakes, and if there is a problem, I will try to answer them in the comments. So bye so far, and see you in the next.